Present.
Ms. Linthorst.
Here.
Ms. Long.
Here.
Mr. Markulak.
Here.
Ms. Murray.
Here.
Ms. O'Reilly.
Here.
Ms. Polaro.
Here.
Mr. Sawicki.
Here.
Ms. Tracy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Hopewell Valley Regional Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof communicated to the Hopewell Valley News, the Times, and the Trentonian on January 8, 2019. This meeting notice was also sent to Comcast Cable and Verizon Fios. The board reserves the right to enter into executive session during all meetings of the Board of Education. The meeting is being videotaped for the purpose of board review, future reference, preparation of the minutes, and viewing on Comcast Channel 19, Verizon Fios Channel 32, and the school district website. May we all rise for the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the 12/10/18 regular meeting? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Motion carries. Okay, so we don't have Siobhan today. So I'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting this evening, and would especially like to welcome our special guests, their friends and family, and their fans. So we'd like to start with Ms. Durr and her fine arts class with the Memory Project.
Hi, I'm Laura Durr, and I'm really excited to share the paintings that my Fine Arts 1 students have created over the last couple months. The Memory Project is a nonprofit organization founded in 2004, which encourages art students and solo artists to help cultivate global kindness by creating portraits for children around the world who have faced substantial challenges such as violence, war, extreme poverty, neglect, and loss of parents. The children that you see behind you are all Syrian refugees, and when I started at Hopewell, I was really excited because I was contacted and told that someone had anonymously sponsored 5 of our students, I believe, to participate in this program. And I was also contacted by Mr. Heller and Principal Smith about participating, and I had heard about it last year and wanted to do it myself, so it all came together really nicely. When we contacted the Memory Project, they sent us 27 portraits. 25 of them are done, or 22 of them, I think, are done and here today to be shared with you. The last couple are wrapping up as we speak, hopefully. And they mailed us the photos that you see, and then our students were able to select a child and to work on a painting of that child. Each child's name is listed, as well as their age and their favorite color, which is how they chose, our students chose the colors that they would select to work with. So first, I'd like to ask Nicole to share her thoughts.
Hi, my name is Nicole Bartnikowski, and I'm a sophomore at Hopewell Valley Central High School. The importance of the Memory Project is to open up the eyes of students to the world around them. A lot of the time, students are more distracted and focused on their own problems and struggles to realize what's happening outside of their bubble. This project helps students like me to realize how fortunate we are and allow us to connect more with current events. We get to understand other people's perspectives on this world and hopefully brighten up their day with our paintings. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellie Brown, and I'm a sophomore at the high school. And during this project, we learned a lot about activist art and art as a vehicle for peaceful protest, and also how art can make a statement on social change and impact social consciousness. And this project really allowed us to experience it firsthand because we got to make art for a purpose, to make change. And it was just a really cool experience to know that our art was making a difference. And the project was influenced by Shepard Fairey, who's well known for his Obama Hope poster and his style of posterized simplified color images. And we connected Shepard Fairey's activist art to our own project, particularly his We the People images, which we used as inspiration for the purpose and message we were focused on. And the project taught us a lot about the power that art can have on people's lives and how it can make a change in society.
Hello, I am Zoe Deck, and I would like to talk about how the Memory Project connected to our art education and to our general education. So in terms of our art education, it taught us that being an artist is valuable, for our own skills and talents can help create something that someone else will cherish and value for the rest of their lives. In terms of our general education, the Memory Project increased the amount of time we spent researching and learning about other parts of the world, which we otherwise may not have done during our school day. And we learned a lot about textile patterns, like you see in the backgrounds of many of these portraits, and we learned about the situation of many of these young kids. So this was very beneficial on a broad range of areas.
Hi, my name is Aristide Angelakis. I'm a sophomore at CHS, and in participating in the Memory Project, it was very fulfilling that we created artwork that was given to these kids that they will have for the rest of their lives, and it was very fulfilling to know that they will have these for the rest of their lives and will be a meaningful aspect in their life and bring them happiness. And I think the biggest takeaway from this project is learning that art is a vehicle to connect people from around the world and to expose us to different societies and cultures and to broaden our worldview. Thank you.
So in closing, these portraits will actually be sent to the children. They're due March 1st, so we're going to have them on display here for a little bit, at the high school for a little bit, and then we'll ship them off to Syria, where they will be distributed to the children. I just want to say thank you to the board and to Mr. Heller and to Principal Smith for supporting us in doing this project, and I hope we can do it again because it was really meaningful for the kids and for me as well. So thanks.
Thank you, Mr. And as well as incredibly artistic and talented, they're also very well spoken. Well done. Does anybody want to make any comments or questions for the kids? Okay.
They worked really hard.
As I said before we started, I mean, the emotion in the faces is really amazing. Just so you can see in the children's eyes and in the paintings, just their life experience. It's really, I'm not an art expert by any means, as Laura tells me regularly, but I'm trying.
I don't think I've ever said
No, I'm
I think that when we were talking about what we were going to say tonight, one of the children, I think Zoe said, when you spend this much time looking at these kids, it's hard not to really feel everything they've gone through and to have a real connection to them. You know, the minute she walked in, where's Aya? She wanted to know where her kid was. So.
When you send the portraits, will you send a note or a photograph of yourself, like so they understand who the artist
Yes.
is and that story?
Yes, and we'll send some photos that have been taken along the way, and they'll send us back a video of the kids actually receiving. So we'll share that with you guys in the end. So it's a cool project. I'm really excited that we got to participate.
I wouldn't mind seeing that video when it comes
Yeah, I'll
back.
take it
That
when
would
I
be
share it.
really cool.
Yeah, it's the ones that I've seen from previous years. They're really neat. So I'm excited to share that.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
It's really wonderful. So this evening we're missing our student representative to the board, so I guess I'll head next. So just a little update. Last week, the HVA and the Board of Education met for our scheduled fact-finding hearing. We spent 4.5 hours of that evening in an attempt to negotiate the terms of the new contract and forego the hearing. While both sides made strides in areas for agreement, ultimately all necessary issues could not be agreed upon. Unfortunately, the fact finder informed us that due to his workload, it would be 6 to 8 weeks before a report could be completed. Our options are to wait out the 2-month period and to receive the fact finder's recommendations, or at some point to try to continue to schedule discussions with the association to gauge movement on the issues holding up an agreement. To be clear, the board has every intention to meet with the association at any mutually agreed upon time or day to come to a resolution on the contract. But until such time, our teachers will work under the salary and benefits agreement of their last contract. And Dr. Smith? Where do you? What's that? Okay. We'll wait.
He's right here. He's here.
You're on.
Welcome back.
That's it.
You're
I
on.
was just high-fiving the kids.
Excellent.
Did a great job. I don't have much to report other than to say that we've released the calendar survey. Our expectation is with the survey closes on January 31st. I will have a calendar committee and should have a recommendation to the board in February for their review with formal approval by March and distribution to the full district. With this year, since we have an expanded survey, we have a lot of questions. I might recommend to the board if we can get the calendar committee on board, moving from maybe 3 years to 5 years of calendars, approving at once, so everybody has that online. But something that you should be aware of, several of us attended a presentation at the high school for a group of students. He used a stats regression table to kind of educate us on the changing demographics in our community. I've asked them to come to present to the board and the community at the February board meeting. But their work is really recommending to us that the district begin to celebrate Diwali as a holiday on our school calendar. So we'll share that. You'll see more information as we're coming, as we go through that. Also, in the next week or so, there'll be a letter going out regarding snow days, and we have been very fortunate over so far this school year. We know we have a big storm coming, but we also have the day of service on Monday, so schools are closed in honor of Martin Luther King. So don't get your hopes up for next week, but we know that eventually we will have a snowstorm that will impact the district, and planning on those being e-learning days, which we're working through, particularly with the association. I think that is about all the news that's fit to report at this point.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. At this time, we'll enter into a public comment. So members of the public are invited to address the board on any matter for a maximum of 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. You're asked to state your name, address, and municipality. In response to your comments, the Board of Education may respond or direct the superintendent to do so. The board may also opt to take the matter up at a future meeting so that the matter is researched by the district administration. Public comment is now open. Does anyone want to comment? Okay. Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Any items of old business? Probably not, since this is like our first real meeting. Consent agenda. Does anyone have anything they want to, well, let me get a motion, please, first to approve this consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything to remove or any comments, questions on what's on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Motion carries. Mr. DiDonato, you're up.
So I have a couple things to move. Number one, we've got some change orders. There's there's 6 change orders. Some are positive, some are negative. We are additions of about 140,000 across the 6 change orders. And really it's just renovations to the in light of the referendum project. So I'd like a motion to move this.
Thank you.
And then the second one is the acceptance of 2 donations. One was in the amount of $500 from Exxon to Tollgate, and the other was in the amount of $332 from the Brothers Moon Restaurant. And so I'd like to make a motion to move the acceptance of these donations.
We'll just move them all in one.
Okay.
Last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Any
motion.
comments, questions? Well, I will say
Oh.
thank you both to Exxon and to Brothers Moon for their donations. Very generous. Anything to discuss before we vote? Any discussion on the change orders? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain?
Since 1992. The second is Leslie Salvato, who has been an elementary teacher in the district since 1996. We'd like to thank both of them for their service and wish both Lillian and Leslie well in their retirement. The other thing that you'll notice on for approval for tonight is the new federal minimum wage of $8.85. It's on the agenda for approval. And the other item that we discussed tonight, I'd like to make a point to highlight, was our winners of the Governor's Educator of the Year Awards. Mrs. Vertuccio, fifth grade teacher at Bear Tavern. At Hopewell Elementary, Mrs. Corvalin, the STEM facilitator. At Stony Brook Elementary, Mrs. Angeles, basic skills teacher. At Tollgate Grammar School, Mrs. Sebastian, special education. At Timberlane Middle School, Mrs. Carrillo, an art teacher. And last but not least, at Central High School, Mrs. Sell, the math teacher. All of these teachers will be honored at our March 18th board meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Sarah. I wanted to make mention of a couple things. Michael Vanover, as our new campus safety officer, is someone I've spent many years on the sidelines with, a man who's a volunteer in our community and just amazing with our kids, and will now be our second campus safety officer at the high school. So in an effort to improve the safety and security, I'm so grateful that he will be there as part of our security team. And as far as I'm always grateful that I have at least a few teachers on the list of the teachers that are the Governor's Teachers of the Year. At least two of them I think my kids have had. And currently I have a son that has Miss Sell, and I mean, I can't sing her praises enough. She goes above and beyond every single day, and she does it with such grace. She makes it look easy, and I can't imagine that it is. And then, of course, Ms. Helen Corvaline, who's come to us at the board in our ed program, one of the STEM facilitators. She's just another one who just, I call her the child whisperer, because there's just no child that she doesn't like. I mean, they could be like in a frenzy, and she'll just look at them with her look and her voice, and I've just seen her quiet an entire room of kids, and it's just, she's really amazing with the kids. And one of the things I've said is she's moved up as a facilitator, is that she continues to like infuse her ability with those kids to the teachers that she influences. So congratulations to all the teachers of the year. It's amazing, and they're well deserving. So we need a roll call, don't we?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Ms. Linthorst.
Yes.
Here. Present.
Ms. Long.
Yes.
Mr. Markulak. Yes. Ms. Murray.
Yes.
Oh, this is out of order.
You're out of order.
Ms. O'Reilly.
Yes.
Ms. Pollara.
Yes.
Mr. Sawicki.
Yes.
Ms. Tracy.
Yes.
Mr. DiDonato.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Still giggling. Ed program. I forget who to look at now.
I
We're
almost
both in the
start
same
talking.
spot, so.
I'd like to move the education agenda. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. So today we had our education committee meeting and really went through, oh, I lost the notes. 1 second. Went through the history of the education committee and division and the importance of the committee. So it was great to get that history and then recommit to division and the core values and the norms of the committee. So we'll continue to meet twice a month and work on a variety of topics. And pardon me, we refreshed the notes and now I feel like all my notes went away. Here we go. Okay. So we set the goals for the remainder of the year, and we'll be focusing on second chance learning, continuing with social and emotional learning, the appeals process, and a review of the social studies curriculum and English curriculum, specifically social studies K through 12, in light of the race and diversity issues that we're dealing with. And then we also talked about additional topics. Oh, sure. Also, am I on?
You might not be on.
There, now I'm on. Also discussed these additional topics, exploring ROTC in vocational schools and other alternative pathways for students, aftercare and enrichment at the elementary schools, and how we as a community, a school community, can better support newcomers, student newcomers to the community and their families. So that was a big topic. And then we talked a bit about the race and diversity potluck dinner that was on Friday night and how it was really a powerful and great community event. Well over 100 people were there, and just continuing to facilitate those conversations within the community, and then taking that in the spring, early spring, to a community meeting within the district. And then
Just if I could stop.
sure.
Rosetta, did you get a confirmation on the date for the next meeting or no?
No, we have not.
Okay.
So we still have to sort out that meeting, but we.
No, I mean for the race and diversity.
yes,
Remember, it was
yes,
is it on
March
Monday?
15th.
Oh, March 15th.
March
Okay.
It's March 15th, which is a Friday.
Friday. Okay.
So that's the next
That's the next
community
one.
event.
Yes.
Yep. And encourage everyone in the community to attend, because one of the, I think, challenges is that it's always sort of the same folks
Right.
coming, and the more folks that we can involve in these really important conversations and community building efforts, I think, the better.
May I ask you a question regarding the one that you just went to
Sure.
on Friday and the one that's going to be on March 15th? The one on the 15th is a different facilitator. Yes, it's a different.
No,
or
it's the same.
It's the same group, same.
It's
okay.
Renata Barnes and Justine Levine, as well. I mean, it's a whole group of people who seem to be at the core. Heidi Wallenius, I know, is really involved. Beverly Mills and Elaine Buck, everyone's there. And so I think this was just a bigger session than usual,
Yes.
than typical, because they've been meeting for years. And there's a Facebook page. There's a lot of ways to access the information.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Or?
Where is it?
Oh, St. Matthew's.
Okay.
But it does rotate between a couple of churches here on Main Street. So,
Okay.
Following the Facebook page, when I find out the information, I'll put it out.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get you on that.
Any other questions? Okay, great. Well, all those in favor then?
There's no.
Oh, there's nothing?
No left.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, then we're all in favor. We have not had a community relations yet, but is there anything that community relations wants to share? Nope. We have a meeting.
Do we? Yeah. When is the meeting? The next meeting for that?
The last Wednesday
I believe it is the 30th
30th.
at 5:30.
at 5:30.
Okay. All right, policy.
I have a motion to move the items up for first reading, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So we have 3 items. First is, let's see, it's policy 6162. This is a revision to our corporate sponsorship policy, and it's a relatively small change, but it's important. It references policy and regulation 7510, which define our how we do prioritization of facilities usage for outside organizations, and the particular revisions related to our new definition of what we're calling district affiliated organizations. We passed this back in November of last year. So basically it's a better definition of our prioritization to help alleviate some of the issues we've had related to conflicts over facilities use. The other 2, policy and regulation 1613, these are new. These result from new legislation in the state related to how our district has to change its procedures when we're doing hiring practices, basically requiring us to do a greater amount of due diligence related to contacting former employers and researching any concerns about child abuse or sexual misconduct, which are pursuant to the new law. So it's very detailed in terms of the processes we have to follow, and it basically requires current organizations to do documentation and being forthright and open in reporting that when they're requested to provide the information. So those 2 are new.
Can I just ask a question? Can you remind us the difference between the policy and the regulation?
Oh,
What the 2 documents?
sure. The policy tends to be the overarching philosophy and more or less, the mission, the means, the purpose behind the new requirement. The regulation tends to be the nuts and bolts of exactly what we have to do. Okay, so the policy is more or less explaining what's encompassed within this new thing we have to do. Regulations very detailed in terms of the steps we have to go through, in this case for hiring, in terms of contacting prior employers, who we have to contact, what we have to request, time periods in terms of which they have to follow up, and then if anything is found, what our next steps are.
So it's almost like the policy is the why
And the regulations the how. Yeah, very well said.
I'll use that definition from now on.
This the pass the trash?
Yes.
Personally, I didn't use that
That's
because,
But I figured
because
you
it's,
may know,
yeah,
I've heard.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. What is that?
So that's
The name they didn't.
That's the nickname
Unfor-
for the policies
Yeah,
that were
that's the
developed
name
by
for
the
the
state to
state.
prohibit people being negotiated out of current employment and not sharing that information with future districts. So people sometimes get asked to leave a district quietly, and you could hire them without knowledge. So now they have to go back and you have to fill out a form saying this person did not leave under adverse circumstances.
Yes. So
Also known as pass the trash.
not trying to withhold that information, but just
But districts do. I mean, it's been
I
done.
don't.
That's
Yeah.
why we're here.
Absolutely. It just the colloquialism for the legislation. I'm not crazy about. So, okay.
So, all those in favor of entering these into first reading?
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, really
Opposed,
delayed.
abstain?
Complete delay of
No.
action.
Anyone?
Motion carries. That's great. Never knew I could silence all of you at once.
Very quickly.
Board calendars.
So that,
May I have a motion, please?
we moved all of them together?
Yep,
Okay.
All 3.
because they're just a first reading.
Yep.
All right.
Then we have another bunch.
Yep. For everybody, so for the second reading, that's roll call.
So may I have a motion, please, to approve the calendars? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. January, where are we?
Yeah. The
off on the 21st. Communications, there's my answer. So, looks like we're all set up for February. correct?
We do need a policy meeting. So, from that standpoint, Tom, do you have a preference in terms of a time period to have the stuff done and enough time to get it ready for the board?
You want to shoot for the first?
I was going to say the first probably
fine.
gives us the time.
Yeah, first gives us time.
Do you want to do it at 8:45
That
again,
works on
or
our-
8:30?
my
What's your
end.
preference?
It's, well,
Is 8:45 okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're all.
You good with that too, Deb?
Go up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to announce that. Well, they know. 'cause they-
Anything else to add to the
But
calendars?
what about, this is more for you guys, with the finance and personnel, you know how like tonight we did like a 6:45 for personnel to give finance sort of that extra 15 minutes kind of thing. Do we want to maybe start to do that? going
Yeah, I
forward?
actually went in and changed it, so we'll do our 6:45 if we want to do that for February.
Perfect.
Instead of 6:30.
Personnel is 6:45?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
And we, prior this evening, we met with our two newest board members to talk about a budget primer for new board members. We did it last year. It's going to be on the
It was the
23rd at 3:30. Other members are, of course, welcome to attend, but we ask you to let us know, because if we get more than 4, we need to advertise it. So right now we have 2. If anybody else wants to come, just let 3.
So we need 48 hours before, so just so
Right.
everyone knows, like, you can't come, or we have to cancel the meeting.
Right.
Or
So,
kick you out.
Just, you have a couple of weeks to make a decision.
I'll put it in
Actually,
green
it's next
notes.
week. It's next week, but, yeah, 48 hours if, you want to come, just let us know.
They're great sessions.
Yeah, we did that last year. That was a great site. We were in that last year. It was great. That was really good.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I was totally feeling very overwhelmed.
Put us way up there, Susan. Now we got to live up to that.
I never get that.
They're very boring.
No, I'm
Unimportant.
okay.
I have a gavel.
That's it.
Okay, well, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. The motion carries. Okay, so, at this time, may I have a motion, please,
Open to the public.
what? Oh,
Second open to the public.
sorry, yes. Okay, members of the public are invited to address the board on any matter for a maximum of 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. You're asked to state your name, address, and municipality. In response to your comments, the Board of Education may respond or direct the superintendent to do so. The board may also opt to take the matter up at a future meeting, so the matter is researched by district administration. Public comment is now open. Okay, thank you. So public comment is now closed. And now I would like a motion, please, to go into our work session.
Executive session
Executive
first.
session.
First?
We're gonna do that first.
Why is it flipped?
I don't know.
Okay. So we will be discussing confidential matters, the review of the harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and a student matter, in addition to the HVEA negotiations update. So may I have a motion, please?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Motion carries. Thank you.